both just looked at him like, are you for real? So we're just overjoyed.
Yeah, really amazing news tonight for a family that never lost hope. A married couple who went missing over the weekend found alive and in good health in the Sierra. As rescue crews searched, the husband and wife were surviving bone-chilling temperatures overnight. Good evening, I'm Joe Khalil.
And I'm Nikki Lorenzo. The exhaustive search took place in the area of Wentworth Springs Road. Fox 40's Doug Johnson is joining us live in El Dorado County with the very latest. Doug.
Joe and Nikki, everyone here very happy to hear that they were found safe. Very possible this could be the ambulance that they're being pulled up in. The couple is being brought here to be checked out at this fire station, and we're not sure. We were told it was going to take at least a half hour, but it's possible this could be the couple getting out of the ambulance right now. And again, they were found safe and in good condition. They're being brought here to get hot food and drinks, we're told. And the family told us they're very thankful for everyone behind the scenes. Susan's son actually told us that when he found out, they told him that they had been found. He said he thought the guy was joking. He had to ask him 4 times. Again, we're waiting to see if this is them getting out of the ambulance alive and well. We were just told it would take about a half hour, but that was maybe 10 minutes ago that they said that. One more time, we're told that both were found inside of their vehicle, both Susan and Rory. And apparently the rumor is we're hearing they were found somewhere in the Bunker Hill area, although that has not been confirmed just yet. Family members tell us they've only gotten maybe 3 hours of sleep while they've been waiting to hear from the authorities if they've been found, and I'm sure Rory and Susan have gotten even less sleep during this very, very long ordeal. It doesn't look like anyone's coming out of the ambulance right now, so why don't you take a listen to what Susan's sister and son had to say after they found that they were found alive.
Thank you very much for all the hard work. You guys do not know how much goes on behind the scenes and how many people are involved that are volunteers, everybody, and they just are awesome, and they were so helpful, and I'm so thankful that they're both okay.
I'm telling them that they're not going back out four-wheeling again, that's for sure. So they you know what, the truck's buried in snow, leave it, it's not coming back. They can whatever they want, they're not doing that again.
And we're still not sure if this is the ambulance they're being brought here in, but again, we were told an ambulance is bringing them here to reunite with family, to get something hot to eat and to drink, to make sure they're doing okay. Earlier today, CHP's helicopter had some issues getting into the area because there was a lot of fog. It was just too dangerous to fly. But fortunately, even though they didn't have their eyes in the air, the ground crews were able to get this job done. We're reporting live in El Dorado County near Georgetown tonight. Doug Johnson, Fox 40 News.
All right, Doug, and I know they were, presumed missing over the weekend. Do we know exactly how long they were, missing and in these conditions?
We know that they've been gone since about Saturday night. Saturday was the last communication they had where they were able to text. I believe Susan texted her son that they had been gotten stuck in the snow. Cell phone service out here, Joe, horrible. The Verizon tower, we've been told, has been down for most of the weekend. AT&T phones are working, but I believe that it's very difficult to get any sort of cell service in this area. We've had trouble ourselves, and it does not look like this is the ambulance that they were brought here in. But again, we're told within the next half hour they will be coming here. Joe, back to you.
All right, Doug, thank you very much for that.
Now to another big story we're following tonight. More questions than answers tonight, days after the safe return of missing Redding mom Sherry Papini. The mother of 3 was found alive on Thanksgiving, 3 weeks after she disappeared. Today, she sat down with investigators for the very first time, but we still don't know who took her or what happened to her during those 22 days that she was gone. Fox 40's Allie Wolf is joining us live in Yolo County where she was found. Allie, what are we learning tonight?
Well, Nikki, I just got off the phone minutes ago with Shasta County Sheriff Ed Basenko. He tells me that today his investigators had a lengthy meeting, a long interview with Sherry Papini after she went through a horrible ordeal for 3 weeks. He said that she's still very traumatized and there's still a lot we don't know about what happened to her over those 3 weeks. We do know, though, that she was found on Thanksgiving morning right here behind me on County Road 17 near Interstate 5. The steady hum of Interstate 5. a quiet church, and a few scattered homes among empty fields. This is where investigators say a nightmare that dragged on for 3 weeks ended when a passing driver found Sherry Papini alive.
CHP is advising Katie is heavily battered, and it is confirmed kidnapping.
Dispatch audio of the Yolo County Sheriff's Department reveals the young mother was found battered and chained to something along northbound I-5 near County Road 17 in Yolo County.
She's on the freeway. Confirmed, northbound I-5 just south of Yolo.
It's 140 miles from the Shasta County community where she vanished while jogging. One woman who claims she saw Papini on Thanksgiving morning on the side of the road posted to Facebook, "I couldn't stop in time to help you this morning, but I did pull over and report to police that I saw you by the road and was certain you needed help." She added that she didn't know if her call helped, but was thankful Papini is safe. Now, as investigators search for possible abductors, 2 Hispanic women armed with a handgun, so much is unknown. For starters, why was the mother of 2 taken? What happened to her? And how did she end up on the side of the freeway so far from home?
It kind of bothered me a little bit because it is so close to my house. It is within walking distance from my house.
Kelsey Coleman lives near the spot where Papini's alleged abductors left her. Like many, she wants to know what happened and understands things don't always end this well.
Mostly it is just kidnap and then found a dead body a couple months later, but now it is just, now we found her and she's alive.
Many in the Shasta County community are now questioning Papini's story. Sheriff Tom Basenko said they have no reason to disbelieve her, and it's unclear whether she knew her kidnappers. Investigators have also issued 20 search warrants related to the case. Detectives are looking through her computer, investigating old relationships, and also looking for surveillance video, hoping to figure out exactly what happened to Sherry Papini. And Papini only had minor injuries. She was taken to a hospital after she was found in this location, and then she went home to reunite with her husband and with her family. So this investigation is still far from over. Sheriff Basenko tells me that most of the warrants are for online information and cell tower information. Coming up at 6 o'clock, we're going to have more information about Sherry Papini's past and also a ransom negotiator and what role he may or may not have played in finding Sherry Papini alive. For now, we're live in Yolo County. Allie Wolf, Fox 40 News.
All right, Allie, thanks so much. Meanwhile, the Redding community is showing its joy over Sherry Papini's return. That includes the city's mayor, Ms. MacArthur, tweeting that she had received a call from Sherry and her husband, Keith, tearfully thanking them for all their help to bring her home. MacArthur calling it, quote, the best Thanksgiving ever.
I just want to thank the community for not giving up. Keith never gave up hope. And that was an inspiration to me and I'm sure to the community.
And we'll have more on what both Papini and MacArthur had to say coming up tonight at 5:30.
And we've got new details tonight on an attack against students at Ohio State University. Investigators are now looking into the possibility that this was terrorism. Authorities have just identified the attacker, Abdul Razak Ali Artan. They say that his Facebook page shows posts describing his grievances about attacks on Muslims, but they say that it's going to take some time to confirm that motive. Kim Hutcherson has more on what happened on that campus.
Monday morning at Ohio State University in Columbus, the warning came. Active shooter on campus. Run, hide, fight. The campus went on lockdown as police and SWAT teams rushed to the scene. Students and employees sheltered in dorms and classrooms, blocking the doors with whatever they could find. They distributed images of what they saw on social media and spoke to news organizations from their hiding places.
It's very hectic here right now. There's like 40 cop cars. Everyone's very frantic, and all the SWAT teams are getting together, and cops are still pulling up.
Before noon, the shelter-in-place alert was lifted. Witnesses began recounting what they saw.
It's not supposed to happen. Sorry. We barricaded ourselves in our rooms like we were taught. Turned off our lights, and just hunkered down.
And authorities started piecing together details of what happened.
A male suspect drove a vehicle, struck pedestrians. He exited the vehicle and used a butcher knife to start cutting pedestrians. Our officers was on scene in less than a minute, and he ended the situation less than a minute. He engaged the suspect, and he eliminated the threat. The suspect is DOA.
And tonight, we're also getting our first look at the officer who's credited with stopping that attack. Officials say that Officer Alan Horico fired 3 shots before the suspect went down. This after the man reportedly failed to comply with orders to put his knife down.
Meantime, Green Party presidential candidate Jill Stein says her campaign has filed papers for a recount in Pennsylvania, the second of 3 states she's targeting for alleged voting irregularities. Stein's campaign filed in Wisconsin last week, but each county there must decide whether to conduct the recounts by machine or by hand. Michigan, which Stein is also targeting for a recount, certified its election results today, giving Donald Trump the win there. And speaking of the president-elect, Trump is sharing his opinion on the recount efforts without any evidence. He's claiming millions voted illegally. He named California as one of the states where alleged voter fraud occurred, which the California Association of Clerks and Election Officials called flat-out denial. New at 5, undocumented immigrants from state universities studying abroad have a big decision on their hands.
Yeah, you see schools going out of their way now, really, to warn students who are studying abroad to come home before Donald Trump's inauguration. Fox 40's Lonnie Wong's live for us now at Sacramento State with why this is such a big concern. Good evening, Lonnie.
Hi, well, the big issue here on the Cal State University campuses, on UC campuses as well, is because of Donald Trump's stated campaign goal of deporting undocumented immigrants. Now, that can be done a lot more easily by keeping them out of the country once they're overseas visiting relatives, for instance, or in this case, taking education programs abroad sponsored by universities. The stated goal of the state university system and University of California is to provide all students with an equal education that includes studying abroad.
Students who have gone abroad have a greater understanding of not only other cultures, but a greater understanding of themselves.
But students who registered for President Obama's Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA, now face being stranded. Donald Trump's goal to nullify the program means that any undocumented resident of the U.S., not just students, could be stopped from re-entering the country. A university letter to campus study abroad administrators asked them to warn students that unless they return by January 19, 2017, there is no assurance that they will be allowed to return to the U.S., and there is a realistic possibility that they will be denied entry. The Legal Services Center at UC Davis also advises that students return before Donald Trump is sworn in on January 20th, earlier if possible in case there are flight or travel delays. Sac State's Cerna Center advises some of the approximately 700 DACA students on campus. It warned students months ago that this was a possibility if Donald Trump becomes president. Maybe that's why there are no Sac State DACA students studying abroad now. Those at other campuses are facing big decisions.
They have to pretty much stop whatever it is that they're doing and now plan to come back home.
Home is the U.S. for DACA students like Norma Mendoza, who was brought here by her parents when she was 10 months old. Overseas DACA students may still take a hit.
Stuck partially finished with loans that need to be paid or outstanding financial commitments.
You forgo losses, financial losses, and that's part of the situation of many undocumented students.
Now, the state university system and the UC system, they both reiterate their support for undocumented immigrant students, but they also say some federal policies may be out of their control. Reporting on the campus of Sac State University, Lonnie Wong, Fox 40 News.
All right, Lonnie, thank you very much. And still ahead, it was a day for the history books in Cuba.
As mixed emotions fill the island nation and new connections to the U.S. officially take flight. Plus, it is Cyber Monday. We take you into what looks like Santa's workshop as Amazon workers pack millions of orders.
She was the sweetest little girl you ever wanted to come in contact with.
And saying goodbye, more young victims of the Chattanooga bus crash laid to rest just this weekend.